Right now, what you're seeing are some pictures of that of riot police blockading the protesters. You can't quite tell where that is.
Well, I think this might be Kyle's location, but yet, Kyle, is that another delegate being blocked?
Yes, this is a delegate being blocked right here at 16 University. I've seen this gentleman earlier today try to get through. He wasn't successful. Once again, he's trying to get through. The officers, the state patrol officers, are trying to work from the other side. They're trying to make a wedge so he can get through. But it seems that this time the protesters are taking a stand. They're being about 4 or 5 deep and making kind of almost like surrounding the delegate. He seems to be pretty exasperated. We're going to come off. Just bear with us with our picture. We're trying to move closer to the scene. This delegate is trying to move through here, and he appears pretty adamant about getting through, but police are, right now, state troopers are trying to make a pathway through the protesters to get through, but as you can see, let's listen in.
I have a very broad sympathy, and we have a very good program which goes in your direction. The European position. You should know about it.
The police, as you can see, state patrol right now are trying to maneuver him through this protest line. Everyone, the protesters are. Here we go. This appears to be the delegate appears to be making it through. This is taking a lot of activity. Protesters are sitting down. Protesters are now sitting down. The delegate made it through. The delegate definitely made it through here. This is kind of typical what's been going on all day today. And now the protesters are sitting down. They are setting up a sitting blockade after that delegate made it through. As you could see him over on the other side there, he had a hard time. That was not an easy path, trying to move these balloons over here. So you could show he made it through, but they're chanting WTO has to go. And the police right now, as you can see, once they got the delegate through, they're moving back. They're not doing anything to the crowd other than trying to get these delegates through.
Well, now we have more gas going off here. Let's see. Richard, is that your perspective there?
Hello, this is Richard Thompson. I am live at 4th and University. What you are seeing is that tension spilling over that we just talked about a short while ago down at 4th and Union. People kept pushing the police line and pushing the police line and pushing the police line. Now we're seeing a wide variety of response from that police team. As you mentioned before, we've seen this. It is most likely a combination of perhaps smoke grenades and pepper gas in canisters that's being released. And it is a pretty massive release at this point down at 4th and Union, because we were watching just a few moments ago, and you could see it like surges, like waves coming, pushing up against the police barricade over and over and over again. And finally the police had had enough, and they started pushing with their canisters. And again, looks like they are getting a lot of pepper spray and a lot of smoke and perhaps even concussion grenades, working down at that area trying to get things under control. But I think it's pretty clear from the picture we're looking at, things are far from under control just down the block at 4th and Union by Rainier Square. Now a large concussion. They look to be flash grenades that are going off, and we can only assume and hope that those are being launched by police officers. They appear to me to be the type of sort of concussion grenades that SWAT team members would have. They are designed to create chaos.
There is an obvious push to move these people out of the streets of downtown Seattle. The Seattle police, it appears as though, Richard, at this point, are saying, all right, it's over, the march is over, and now it's time to move.
I think it's pretty clear that police have decided that they need to get this under control. And again, they are using whatever means they feel necessary at this point in taking. Again, another very large concussion. Those are designed to confuse people in protest situations. They don't know what's going on. It gives the trained SWAT officers an opportunity to move in and corral and position people where they need them to be instead of where the protesters think they need to be.
Right now, there's not a whole lot of places that these thousands of demonstrators can be pushed to, but the police, along with, as we see, the armored personnel carrier and concussion grenades, are going to try to move them.
They are, and they are having some success. If you can take a look at that picture, they were all up at 4th and Union, and they've been pushed back about a block now. So obviously the tear gas, pepper spray, and concussion grenades having some effect on those protesters there. Police, to me, from this distance, appear to have a decent handle on the line of protesters, which is certainly very good to see. As you can see, we've had this display of force from police, and they are now pushing them farther north. Again, another flash up ahead, as I think you probably saw.
Neil Karlinski is on the phone in the midst of this. Neil, are you there?
I am, and I'm getting gas right now, so I don't know how long I'm going to stay with you. We are at 4th and Pike. I can tell you protesters have put large metal trash bins in the middle of the street right in front of a line of SWAT officers wearing gas masks and firing tear gas and spraying pepper spray at us. I can tell you there are many protesters wearing gas masks. There are many others who are facing them dead on and simply taking it, sitting down in the middle of the street. Again, this is 4th and Pike, right in the heart of downtown. Benbridge Jewelers, a Rite Aid Pharmacy, Ross, the Sharper Image, some stores you might be familiar with.
Are you
There's a lot of gas flying around here, and people in the streets, are throwing things, large wooden blocks, back at the police officers.
Neil, are the police moving in, or are they holding the line?
The police are simply holding the line. Police are not moving in. They are holding a line and firing tear gas into the people. This is quite a standoff, and I got to tell you, the protesters here, I'm getting some fresh air, are actually really fighting back. They're hunkering down behind a lot of these large trash cans for cover, and they're sneaking out and throwing blocks of wood and other things at these people. They are, I mean, literally, they are, oh, geez. They are right in the middle of them, and many of them are not fearful of this at all.
So
go ahead.
It does not appear to be a peaceful sit down at all. We see now a canister was thrown back toward the police lines. It began to catch fire.
Yeah, these people are fighting back with the police. Again, they're not engaging face to face. You have the police on one side, and then literally on the other side of the intersection, you have all of the protesters who you may hear yelling, "The whole world is watching," as we are all being gassed here.
What is that fire?
Some flames now that have apparently started a fire inside one of these trash canisters.
Amazing, simply amazing. Scenes that we haven't seen in Seattle in years, decades, perhaps ever.
Oh, I think they might be shooting rubber projectiles. I'm not sure. I don't want to report that inaccurately, but there's a couple of things that have been flying quickly at us here.
Basically what happened was, as we've been telling you for about the last hour or so, protesters kept pushing up against this police line and pushing up. Finally, one of the protesters broke through the police line. Police moved to arrest that person, and when they moved in to make that arrest, that created a gap in that police line, and like the floodgates opening, people just rushed through, and that's where the melee started, and officers felt that they needed to start releasing some tear gas canisters and get that area cleared, and that's what they did. That's what triggered it all. One person breaking through the line and basically setting this all off. And if you take a look, you can see that live picture now. We still have fire right down there on the police line, and it is raging at this point.